Last year, I was fortunate enough to go on my first hunting trip, and I spent 3 days in a tree stand in Georgia. And I remember sitting in that tree and thinking to myself, next hunting season, I'm going to be super prepared. But I'm 3 days out from the next hunting season, and I'm not prepared. I remember sitting in the tree and saying to myself, this is my first hunt. Now I know what I need to do for next year. And this next year is going to be all about preparation. And the entirety of this past year, it's now September, has been, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Next week, I'll get that figured out. And tomorrow is now yesterday. And I find myself in September, I haven't tuned my broadheads. I don't have a place to hunt. I just complete failure. And in these failures, I've learned what I need to do now to start preparing for next year, because there's just too many things that I don't have the time to compact into 3 days from now when archery season opens. So these are my 4 things that I suggest you do if you're a new onset hunter, adult onset hunter, and are looking to go hunting. Focus on skills, not gear. It's really, really simple to get caught up on what arrows should I shoot, what arrow weight, what FOC, what color vanes should I shoot, should I use lighted nocks, what round should I use a rifle, should I use a muzzle, or should I use a shot? Have a weapon system, have a dress gear, have a good pair of boots, and then the rest is really just all skills. And I know there's a lot of people out there now harping on the fact that gear can only take you so far. If your gear is up here, but your skills are down here, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, especially if you're doing something that's like a backcountry hunt type of thing. Sitting in a tree stand hunting whitetails is not as demanding as some other hunts, but it's still, you need to practice the skills. You need to practice the skills of deploying your tree stand if you're doing saddles, making sure you can get in your tree stand quietly, making sure you can deploy a tree stand quickly, quietly, and in the dark. It's those little things that we take for granted until we're in the field and go, oh, I probably should have practiced this. Which leads me to the next point, which is dial in the gear you do have. Last year I said, come April, I'm gonna have my arrows selected, my bow tuned, and be ready to go for hunting season. Now, these are my old arrows, which I replaced. My new arrows were ready, and about March, May, I started noticing that my shooting was getting really poor. Lo and behold, I had to replace my bowstring. In replacing my bowstring, I learned a lot more about bear shaft tuning, got that stuff done, and just let things slide. Things that I said I'll do tomorrow ended up being never done. So tomorrow is now yesterday. And I'm at a point where I don't have my arrows tuned to my broadheads. I don't have my sight tape dialed in. And that's embarrassing to say. I've just been shooting my bow blindly, essentially at 60 yards, and around sight tape says around 70, 72. I don't know. Works good as long as I get good groups. And that's not something that's conducive to being successful in hunting season. That's something that I plan at least having a milestone of having my stuff selected come March. And that's it. That I'm gonna have at least 24 arrows. Set aside 5 or 6 of the straightest ones, broadhead tune them, and that's it. Just don't touch those and practice from different positions, practice from all sorts of stuff, which is my next point. Practice. I am religiously meticulous about practicing at least 4 or 5 times a week shooting my bow, but I've done it unintentionally. And what I mean by unintentionally is I haven't practiced with intention. And that doesn't really make much sense. But I basically just shot on flat ground. And that is not at all representative of any type of hunting I'm ever gonna do. Whether I'm in a tree stand or if I'm in some backcountry or still hunting, that's just not what's gonna happen. I can tell you exactly on one hand how many times I've taken a shot from a knee in the past year, and that's 4. The other day I said, let me try and shooting through some branches, and I see a branch and go, oh, cleared. Flung an arrow, hit that branch, boom, right into the ground, lost the arrow. Those are the things that I should have been practicing for the past year, shooting through trees, shooting through holes and brush, knowing the arc of my arrows at different angles. And those are the things that I didn't practice. And at least if I plan on going out backcountry hiking or still hunting, those are things that I need to know how to do. I don't know how my body reacts or how my bow reacts. Can I even hold at that angle? Can I shoot at different angles with my body? I just haven't practiced that, and that doesn't lead to success at all. Nothing is going to sit there stationary for at 40 yards for 15 seconds for me to take a shot, range it, pull back, shoot. It's just not going to happen. So that's one other, I guess, key performance indicator I'm going to work on this year is having my bow tuned, have it dialed in, and know my pin gaps. I need to learn to range things at a distance and where my arrow is going to land and how it's going to react, and shooting from different positions, shooting through different obstacles. So one of the things I also plan on doing is attending an attack event. And there's none here in Florida, but they're close enough where I can make it a weekend trip. And that's, again, setting those milestones, setting those KPIs, and trying to hit them. Because if you don't hit them, you'll end up in the situation that I'm in, where it's September and I literally don't have anything. And that leads to my last most important tip, which is plan. As someone who is in management and has worked in IT for years, I know how important it is to plan milestones, releases, key performance indicators, and I've done none of that. My goal has simply been to hunt, to go out and hunt. But that's not a goal. That's the result of execution and planning. Plan what I need to do and then execute on it. I knew I had to apply for tags at some point. Never learned how to do it. Never did it. And if you're going to go backcountry hunting and then some states for mule deer or elk, you need to have those tags. And if you don't have those tags, you need to get preference points. I haven't learned how to do that. I don't know anybody to tell me, and I need to just find out how to do it, watch videos online and go through that process. And again, tomorrow turned into yesterday. And so I need to set those milestones, find out where I want to hunt, set those dates, set those deadlines of know how I'm going to do it, apply, and get that stuff done. And with that, I'm also planning to have at least 4 trips throughout the year. One hiking, a camping, a hunting trip, and probably another just scouting trip. If I'm going to go somewhere, if I picked a spot in a state that I can go hunt and I know I'm going to have the ability to hunt, say like Georgia, I need to go scout. I can't just go in blind because I don't have the skills yet to go in blind somewhere. And so I just need to schedule that stuff out. And that requires vacation days, coordinating with your employer, your employees, and making sure that can happen. But yeah, it's really just about planning. And so I'm going to link down below sort of my plan for this coming year and really executing on the plan that I failed to do this year. And if you don't have anybody to show you how to do this stuff, you have to learn on your own. So between reading books and podcasts and videos, I've learned a lot, but it's all keyboard tough guy knowledge. It's not real field ready actual knowledge. And until you go out there, you don't know these things if you're hunting and you're observing animals. You don't know how they behave. You don't know what they do. You don't know how to approach them. You don't know how to stalk. You don't know where to set up a tree stand. It's all stuff that we need to do. I'm planning on doing.